Hello friends. Okay, so today we are gonna find out the answer. Okay, why the engine and cabin crew chamber in a submarine are normally kept in the downside. Okay, and what are the important factors in designing a ship or a submarine, which leads us to the chapter of today, that is stability. So hello and welcome all you to average classes. Okay, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. Okay, now proceeding to your stability, we have two kinds of stability. Okay, one is linear or transitional or transverse stability. Second one is your rotational stability. Okay, so these two stability you have to take into account whenever you are designing for some application, which is everywhere. Actually this is possible, whether it is underwater application or sea application or your airborne application. For all these things you have to take two into consideration. One is your linear or transverse stability, second one is your rotational stability. Okay, both we are going to discuss for a submerged body and for a floating body. But before that let us understand the stability concept with a classical ball on the roll analogy. Okay, see my shirt also says this is how I roll today. Okay, so the ball on the roll. Now this is our case 1. Okay, in this case 1, this is your first case. In this case, what you have seen, sir, this is stable, correct? This is stable, that even I can see that. But can you explain why it is stable, engineering point of view? See, if I will disturb it, let us say I have applied a force F here. So this ball is going to move in this way, correct? This ball will now move and will come here. But again, this ball will have a tendency to come back to the original position. Why? Because it has a restoring force. Which one is the restoring force here? Sir, gravity. Gravity is the restoring force. So little disturbance when you give either to the left or right, there will be a restoring force. What it will act? Sir, there will be a restoring force. And what is the restoring force here? Sir, restoring force is the gravity force. That's why it will come back to its initial position. So in this case A, it will come back to the initial position. So I can say it has achieved stability. It has achieved stability. So I will say it is stable. What I'll say? This is in stable condition. Case A. Now case B, what I'll do? Okay, same. I'll apply some force here. After application of some force, now the ball has come here. This is the new position of the ball. So your ball has reached here. Now what happened? You have given some push. Ball has reached here. This ball neither has a tendency to come back to the original position, nor it will go away, nor it will run away or go away. So it will be now at stable in this position. Neither it is going to come back to the original position, nor it will move away. So that's why we call it what? Neutral. We call it as what? Neutral position. Okay. Now this is B. Now coming to the third case, that is your C. See, as this moment, as of now, this ball looks stable. This looks stable, but a very minute, very small disturbances if I give either from this side or from this side. A very small disturbance I will give. What will happen? It will never come back to its original position. Rather, it will move far away. It will diverge. It will come somewhere here, and that's it. Gone. Okay, so it is not going to come its original position anymore. And such equilibrium we call it what? Unstable. Such things we call it as what? Unstable. Understood na? The analogy means after disturbances, if it comes back to original position, we call it stable. After some disturbances, if it goes and be stable at its new position, neither it comes back to the original position nor it go away from that new position, we call them at neutral equilibrium. Okay. Now those who might look stable at that moment, but if little application of force, it will go away from its original position and never going to come back to its original position, we call such as unstable. We call such thing as unstable. Okay, sometimes people ask this question. Okay, sir, what if there is an inclined surface? What if something is like this? So this is under which condition? First of all, this kind of discussing this is out of scope. Why out of scope? Number one, this block is not in equilibrium at all. See, in all these cases, they were initially at equilibrium and we disturbed that. Okay, this is not at all in equilibrium first of all. So we cannot discuss what type of condition this is. Okay, got it? So now from the ball, roll in the ball analogy, this will be very important throughout your FM or throughout your strength of material journey also. Okay, if you want to note it down fast, note it down. Then we are going to study stability of submerged bodies. Okay. Okay. So now let us discuss your stability of submerged body. And I told you already, when we are discussing about stability, we are discussing about two cases. Okay, two things. One is your one is your linear stability, okay, or transverse stability, or this is also known as what? Transverse stability. Second, we are discussing about your rotational stability. One is your rotational stability. And when the term submerged comes to my mind, only submarines comes. Okay? So we'll check in which case a submarine is stable, in which case a submarine is unstable. Okay? This is what we are going to come at the end of this submerged bodies thing. Okay? Now, if a body is in static equilibrium, so you know the weight and the buoyancy force balance with each other. If a body is in static equilibrium, the weight and the buoyancy force, they balance each other. So now we'll take a case. Where the body is completely submerged. The body is completely submerged. This is what we are going to study. So this is a body which is completely submerged. Now what will happen? What will happen here? Sir, the buoyancy forces are, the buoyancy force will act here. Where the buoyancy force will act? Sir, the buoyancy force is going to act at the centroid. Let us say this is B and this is your center of gravity G. This is the center of gravity G. If such is the case, I want to read what is going on. I want to know that. Okay. So what happens to the horizontal forces? Sir, horizontal forces are balanced because whatever the pressure acting all at the horizontal thing is being counteracted from the other side all around. So horizontal forces are balanced. Okay. Next, for linear stability, what is left? Sir, what is vertical force left? We know the vertical force is nothing but the buoyancy force, FB. And the buoyancy force is counteracting with your self weight W. So always in whether the body is submerged or floating, if they are in static equilibrium, the buoyancy force and weight will balance out with each other. Because they are balancing out with each other, by default, your submerged body or a floating body are vertically stable. I'll explain. Okay. Vertically stable. So this case is done. This case is done. If a body, any vertical body, submerged or partially floating in water, the buoyancy force and the self weight balance with each other. That's why the floating body or submerged body is already vertically stable. So they are vertically stable. Okay. So what we need now? We need to go for the rotational stability. See, suppose you have a body which is buoyant. Okay, means the density of the body is such that it mixes with the density of the fluid. You just leave it. It will come to the neutral position. Already we have known. Suppose a body whose average density is less than the density of the fluid, so it will float. That also we have studied. You apply pressure, apply force, and through some force you just try to submerge it. As soon as you lift the force, it will come back. As soon as you lift the force, it will come back to the floating surface, free surface, and it will start floating. That means it has also attained vertical stability. Okay, these all things notes we will write, don't worry. So for linear or translational stability, for a submerged body, I have no issue because they are already stable. Okay, so what I need to find? I need to go for the rotational stability. Now this is interesting. How we are making it rotational stability, then this is very interesting. Okay. Now let us say this case only I am taking, but instead of a submarine, I am trying to take, for easy understanding, I am taking a circle into picture. Okay. I am taking a circle. So this is the shape. I am assuming this is my shape. Okay. I am assuming this is my shape. Okay. So let us say this is the line of action. Okay. And this is my center of buoyancy. Center of buoyancy is where is the center of buoyancy? Sir, it is the center of the displaced volume. Center of the displaced volume. So this much volume it is. This is the volume it is displacing. So it is the center of the displaced volume will be the center of buoyancy where your buoyancy force acts. Repeatedly I am telling. Okay, try to understand. Now let us assume this is my case 1. Okay, case 1. Let us assume कि maximum weight is on the downward side. Let us say maximum weight is where? On the downward side. Okay, this is some geometrical figure where maximum weight is concentrated on the downward side. So where will be CG? So CG will be in the down only. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now here the weight acts vertically downward and the force of buoyancy acts vertically upward. Okay. We are trying to study for rotational stability. Now what I have done, I have applied some force here. I tried to disturb it by applying some force. Okay, I have disturbed it. So what will happen? Sir, now it will tilt. Now the body will tilt. Okay. So this has tilted like this, and this is how your mass has now concentrated. So where will be your center of buoyancy? Center of buoyancy will be same only because it is the center of the dispersed volume. So center of buoyancy is not going to change. Center of buoyancy will be here only, but the CG will change now. So now CG is what? Centered of this. So now here is your CG. G. Okay. So how the G is acting? Weight. Sir, weight is acting vertically downward. How the force is acting? Sir, buoyancy force always upward. Now, just after you have disturbed this W, you have given a disturbing couple. We call it as what? Disturbing couple you have given. Okay, disturbing force you have given. So this W is trying to pull the body downward. Buoyancy force is trying to pull the body upward. So now you can see between these two forces, you have a vertical depth. You have some vertical line. Okay. Now you know there are two forces which are parallel to each other but separated by some distance. What they will form? What they will generate? They will generate a couple. They will generate a couple. So FB is trying to lift up, W is trying to lift down. So how the couple is anti-clockwise? So this couple which it has generated will restore the body to again which position? Will restore the body again to its initial position. Hence we call it as what? Restoring couple. Hence we call it as what? Restoring couple. Okay. So if the maximum weight is concentrated below, then after applying some disturbances force either to the left or right, then there will be a restoring couple which will again bring the body to its initial position. That means when the center of gravity is below the center of buoyancy, for a submerged case, the body is in stable equilibrium. So this application only I will use where? In my submarine. This is the case 1. In this case, your center of buoyancy is above the center of gravity. So because center of buoyancy is above the center of gravity, so if there will be some disturbances, again there will be a restoring couple. The restoring couple will bring the body to its initial position. That means it is which equilibrium? So stable equilibrium. Already you have discussed this concept. Okay, in your ball, roll in the ball. Okay, understood. So this is your case 1 where your center of buoyancy is above the center of gravity. Which kind of it has generated? Sorry, it has generated a restoring couple. Very good. Very good. Now what we'll do? We'll take the second case. In the second case also, I am taking an imaginary shape, in circular shape I am taking for easy understanding. That is the only reason. Okay, so this is the body, entire volume is displaced, center of the volume displaced is my center of buoyancy. Very good. Let us say in this particular case, the more mass is concentrated on the upper half of the body. More mass is concentrated on the upper portion, upper half of the body. So where will be the centroid? So the centroid will be somewhere here. Center of mass. Okay. Centroid will be here. Now in this case, FB always acts upward. force of buoyancy upward. Gravity, sir, gravity is acting vertically downward, or weight of the body is acting vertically downward. Very, very good. Okay. Now what I have done, again, I have applied some force F, okay, and I wanted to disturb it. Okay, and I have disturbed this. After disturbance, this is the new position of your body or object. This is the new position of your body or object. Center of buoyancy, sir, won't change. Why? Submerged body. Submerged body, center of buoyancy is the center of the displaced volume. 100 times I am telling, remember. Okay? Very, very good. Now, this is your CG. Center of gravity. This is your CG. Okay? So, this is the center of buoyancy. How the force is acting? Sir, the force, buoyancy force always acts vertically upward. Centroids or weight always acts vertically downward. After disturbances, because they are not on the same line of action anymore, so you have a distance between them, a perpendicular distance between them. So again, these are two parallel forces. These are two parallel forces, which are separated by some distance. Okay. So what it will form? Sir, it will form a couple. It will form a couple. So what this couple will do? What this couple will do? How is your W? Which side is your W? W is downward. FB is upward. Try. It is clockwise. So what this couple is doing? Sir, it is disturbing. Means it will completely tilt, submerge or sink the equilibrium position. It will completely now sink it. So hence we call it overturning couple. We call it as what? Overturning couple. So if your centroid is above the center of buoyancy, there will be a overturning couple which disturbs the equilibrium and which we do not like. Means now your submarine will sink. This case, when your CG is above your CB. Okay, this is the condition. Your weight acting vertically downward, buoyancy force acting vertically upward. This is what? This will tilt the submarine. So it will come to which equilibrium? Unstable equilibrium. Unstable equilibrium. So submarine, you are designing a submarine, or you are designing a hot air balloon. In hot air balloon also the chamber is down. That is, the more mass is down. Okay, even your submarine's cases, what you are saying, your engine and more of the material, more of the weight, cabin crew chamber, all are kept on the downside only. They want to maximize the weight on the downward side, so that the center of gravity will come below the center of buoyancy and they can attain a stable equilibrium. See, all these things what we are discussing is qualitatively, and our assumption is there is no external link is attached. Okay, we are not applying any external, like these are not connected by any means, they are independent bodies. Okay, so understood. Submerged case, these are which stability? Sir, whatever you are discussing now, this case 1 and case 2 are which stability? Rotational stability. Okay, so these two are case A and case B. You note it down, we will discuss a case C. It's a smaller one. Okay, this is which equilibrium? Sir, this is your stable equilibrium. When center of gravity is below center of buoyancy. Sir, this is your unstable equilibrium. When center of gravity is above your center of buoyancy. Next we will go for a neutral equilibrium. Okay, note it down fast. Case 3 describes a neutrally case 3 is for a neutrally buoyant body. Matlab, what is that? That means it is made up of what? The weight is equally distributed throughout the body. The weight is equally distributed throughout the body. Here the maximum portion of the weight on the downward side, here the maximum portion of the weight is on the upward side, but here the weight is equally distributed throughout the body. That means the center of buoyancy and the center of gravity are on the same point. B and G are the same point itself. So in such a equilibrium, if you disturb it by some force, what will happen is, this is the new position. Yes or no? This is the line of action now. But what? Your B and G are still same. This is your B, this is your G. That means now it is stable at this condition. Now it is stable at this condition. It won't come back to its original position, neither it will fall beyond this. So that's what we call neutral equilibrium or neutrally stable. Neutrally stable when center of gravity and center of buoyancy are at same point. Okay? Center of gravity and center of buoyancy are same point. So this is what rotational stability for which body? Submerged body. Okay, now we'll write this theory, then we'll go for the floating body stability. Okay, very good. Note it down fast. So now let's write the theory of it. Okay, so this is assessment of stability of immersed or floating body with no attachment, no string, nothing is attached. They are independent. Okay, so for an immersed body, immersed or floating body, which is in static equilibrium means net force is 0. Okay, for F, what is the condition for flotation? F net is 0. So that moment Fx is 0, horizontal forces are 0, vertical forces, summation of vertical forces are also 0, and summation of moment is 0. The summation of moment will only be 0 if the buoyancy force and your center of gravity are acting on the same line. The line of action of center of gravity and the buoyancy center is same. Then only they will attain the moment center of like F moment equal to 0. Okay, static equilibrium, the weight and the buoyant force, self weight and the buoyant force Fb acting on the body balance with each other. That's why such bodies which are in static equilibrium are inherently, by default, stable in which direction? Vertical direction. There are two stability, linear stability or which is known as transverse stability or vertical stability. Okay, so they are by default stable in the vertical direction. Okay, but they are not stable in the rotational direction. So the rotational stability of an immersed body. Now we are talking about submerged body. This point is for which body? From this point onwards, it is for submerged body. Okay, we'll study floating body after that. Immersed body, immersed or submerged body depends on the relative location of what? Center of gravity G and the center of buoyancy B. What is center of buoyancy? It is the centroid of the displaced volume. Already we have studied previous classes. Okay, buoyancy and flotation by average classes, you'll get it. Pressure diagram by average classes, search in the YouTube search bar, you'll get what? Pressure diagram by average classes, you'll get it. Similarly, curved surface by average classes, plane surface by average classes, you will get it. Okay, now an immersed body is inherently stable, means by default stable if the body is bottom heavy, bottom portion is heavy. Just now we have discussed, if most of the weight is concentrated at the bottom half, then it is stable. That means what? Your G, center of gravity, is directly below center of buoyancy. Then if you give a rotational disturbance, action is your rotational disturbance, reaction is a restoring moment or couple. This is your reaction. So it will again come back to its original position. Because it is coming back to original position, we call it in which equilibrium? Stable equilibrium. Now remember, for a submerged body, if G is below B, that is, suppose this is your B and this is your G. Suppose G is below B, which equilibrium? Stable equilibrium. G and G is equal to B, that is, G and B are at the same point, we call it neutral equilibrium. If G is above B, we call it unstable equilibrium. We call it what? Unstable equilibrium. Understood? This comes in exam, AE, PSUs, GATE, one more question this comes. In flotation also it comes. Okay, note it down fast. Very good. Note it down. Let us discuss your stability of floating bodies. Okay, stability of floating body. What is the stability condition of floating equation we have arrived? Sir, we have arrived at equation that is V of submerged divided by volume of total body is nothing but density of average body divided by density of fluid. Sir, this last class you have described, which you have. If you have not seen, please see the last video. You can search. Okay, stability and flotation, buoyancy and flotation by average classes, you'll get it. ठीक है, तो वॉल्यूम ऑफ सबमर्ज by volume of total. Can I write it like this? A into H of submerged area divided by H total. Yes or no? Area. Can I write? Area is the same only. Okay. Is equal to, now if this density in both the numerator and denominator, I'll divide it with density of water. So what will become the density of matter by density of water? This is nothing but specific gravity. So I can write specific gravity of average body, divided by specific gravity of fluid. Sir, okay, last class you have told about this. Can you draw a diagram here? Of course. See, let us say I have took a body which is in static equilibrium. Okay, I have took this cross section and this body is floating in water. Let us say any fluid it is floating like this. It is floating. Okay. Now the height of the body is h. This is the total height of the body. Total height is h, and the submerged portion is small h. This is the submerged portion. Let us say submerged portion is small s. Okay, and s, this is the specific gravity of the fluid, and this is your specific gravity of the average specific gravity of the body, s body. So okay, so from this formula, what I can write? If a and a cancel, sir, you can write the h submerged, okay, multiplied by s of fluid is nothing but s body, that is s average body multiplied by h total. This is the formula. This is the condition of stability. This is your condition for stability. As per this diagram, I can write h multiplied s fluid is equal to capital H into s body. So, this is your condition of stability. This is the condition for stability. Very good. Very good. Understood. So, I just wanted to recap this. Now, we'll go for now let us try. So, this is for what? This is for vertical stability. This is the condition for your vertical stability. See, two kind of stability is there. That is your linear or transverse stability or rotational stability. In linear or transverse stability, we have horizontal and we have vertical. Horizontal forces are balancing out each other. So the next thing is vertical stability. I told you these are by default vertical stability. But let us say you have a submarine. You have a ship. I have seen, bhai sahab, two kind of ship. One is cargo ship and one is your jet ski or normal boats and all. I have seen, even this is a boat, okay, and this boat is, suppose this is a boat, okay, and this boat is moving in you're not in a sea, even in a river. How I have seen is, it always goes like this. Even there is no wave, I can see this boat goes up, down, up, down, up, down, mainly the front part, up, down, up, down. Why is it so? Why is it so? Why the boat, suppose this is the boat, moves, up, down, up, down, up, down in a fluid. So this is the river or fluid, any fluid surface. Remember what happened? Because of its weight, try to understand. Because of the weight, it tried to came down. When it came down, it displaces more fluid. What is my buoyancy force? Sir, buoyancy force is density of fluid G into the volume displaced. Okay. So because of its weight, self weight, one is W, self weight, downward, one is buoyancy, upward. Okay, so because of its self weight, it goes down. When it goes down, more of the volume is displaced. More of the volume displaced means volume increase. Because of volume increase, volume displaced, what happens? Buoyancy force increase. Buoyancy force increase means now W is little, so it will lift because of more buoyancy force, now what it will do? It will lift your boat. Okay, because it has lifted the boat, now this is, let us say your boat has got lifted somewhere here. Okay, this is the boat which got lifted. That means what? Now, what happened to the volume displaced? Sir, volume displaced less. Volume displaced less means now buoyancy force less. Buoyancy force less means now the weight will dominate. Weight will dominate means again it will come down. Again it will come inside. So this is how it came inside because of the weight. More volume displaced, buoyancy force more, go went up. When went up, volume decreased, buoyancy force decreased, weight more, again it came down. Because it came down, again more the volume, it came in contact with more volume of water. More volume of water means more the volume displaced. More the volume displaced means more the buoyancy force. More the buoyancy force means again it came up. So that's why some ships, some boats or your jet ski, how they will be moving like this, up down and up down. Whereas if you see your cargo ships, very big cargo ship, nothing, they are by default vertically stable. Their buoyancy force and W are so stable that they will move around, say like that, they will move. Okay, they won't go like this, cargo ships and all. Okay, understood? So this is how they are attain vertical stability. Which stability? Vertical stability. Now we'll talk about your rotational stability. Sir will write note. Yes. Let's first complete this, then I'll write the note by yourself. But you can pause the video and note it down this much portion. Okay. So now let us talk about the rotational stability of your floating body. Okay. We'll now talk about your rotational stability. Now in submerged case, we have, for ease of understanding, we have took a circle case. Now let us say for ease of understanding, I am taking some shape like this. Okay. So here this is the line of action, correct? And yes, it is floating. Okay, some portion is below the water, some portion is above the water. Let us say this is your center of buoyancy B and this is your centroid G. Sir, why is the center of buoyancy? Here you are taking C. Center of buoyancy is the centroid of the displaced volume. How much volume it is displacing? Can you tell me? Sir, here it is displacing this much of volume. Okay, this much of volume it is displacing, and its centroid is the center of buoyancy. Okay, that's why I have shown center of buoyancy here. But the center of buoyancy, for now, the center of buoyancy and the centroid are at same position. Okay. Now what I have done is, what I will do is, I'll give it some disturbance. I'll give some angular displacement. I'll give him some angular displacement by applying some force on this side. Okay. So if I'll apply some force on this side, how it will behave? So now it has disturbed the shape. The shape it has disturbed. Now it has come back to a new position. And let us say this is the position now. So earlier, now the left hand portion from the centroid line and the right hand portion were equally submerged. Okay, now what happened? Sir, the volume occupied on the right hand side, I am seeing more. Whereas the volume occupied on the left hand side, sir, I am finding it little less. Correct. So because thus more of the volume is now which side? On the right hand side. So now the centroid will shift to the right hand side. So G will be same. Your center of gravity is not going to change. This is the center of gravity of the body, so it won't change. But the center of buoyancy will change because now more volume is displaced on the right hand side. Let us say the center of buoyancy has displaced to somewhere. This was the position original. Now it has come back to some position here, which is your B dash. So center of buoyancy has clearly changed. This is the center of buoyancy. Before your FB was acting like this. Now your FB will act here. This is your buoyancy force, FB acting. So if I will join it, if I will extend this force and I will join along its previous. This is the previous line of action of the buoyancy force. This is the new line of action of the buoyancy force. They both are meeting at certain point. We will tell what is that point after some time. Okay. So this force F1 I have applied and I got something like this. Okay. Understood? Okay. Now what I have done, this is the center of buoyancy. Here your centroid of your weight vertically acting downward. So this center of buoyancy is moving up, gravity is coming down. So which kind of couple it will give? Sir, it will give a restoring couple. It will give a restoring couple. Now because of the restoring couple, again it will come back to its original position. Again, I hope you understood this. Okay, again it will come back to its original position. That means which kind of equilibrium it is? Sir, it came back to the original position. That's why this is in stable equilibrium. Which equilibrium? Stable equilibrium. Okay. Now what I have done? Next we have again, I have applied F1 force. Now for the second case I have applied little more force. I have given more force. That is, I have given some force F2 which is greater than F1. Now what happened? Sir, this is after giving F2 amount of force. After giving F2 amount of force, this tilted further. This tilted further. Now this is the line of action. This is the line of action. And now as you can see, the right hand side of this much portion is now more volume submerged. So here the volume submerged is left hand side is less, more right hand side is more. Total volume submerged is this, like this. This is the total volume submerged. Okay. So in this total volume submerged, obviously right hand side the volume submerged is more. So that means center of gravity is on the right hand. Center of buoyancy is on the right hand side only. What happens to center of gravity? Sir, center of gravity won't change. It will be same. In case of a submerged body, center of gravity was changing. In case of a floating body, buoyancy, center of buoyancy will change. Center of gravity is not going to change. Okay, center of buoyancy will change. So this was the previous buoyancy, B, center of buoyancy. Now the center of buoyancy have changed and the center of buoyancy is somewhere here. So now this is your center of buoyancy, B dash. Okay, this is your center of buoyancy, B dash. That means your buoyancy force is acting like this. Okay, so now this is the line of action of the buoyancy force. Okay, I will join it. After joining, it is meeting somewhere here. Sir, where? This point. This was the line of action of previous buoyancy force. This is the line of action of CG and CB. This is the line of action of previous buoyancy force. This is your line of action of after got displaced. Again, this is another case where now the buoyancy force has shifted here. Where is your G? Sir, G is here. What kind of force G is acting? Sir, self weight, which is pulling it downward. Now self weight is trying to pull it downward. Buoyancy is moving, trying to move it up. So which kind of couple you are getting? Which kind of couple you are getting? Sir, we are getting a couple, clockwise couple in this case we are getting. That means this particular couple, what? It will sink the ship. It will try to sink the ship. That is, turn it completely. So which kind of couple you got? You got a overturning couple. You got a overturning couple. Because of the overturning couple, after giving some angular displacement, this cannot come back to its original position. In fact, it will go away from its initial original position, and such kind of equilibrium, we call it as what? Unstable. That means body has attained what? Unstable equilibrium. Now body has come to unstable equilibrium. Here it was neutral. Initially it was in neutral. Okay, now I have given some force. After that it came here. I came to know that, okay, when there is a restoring couple generated, here there is a overturning couple generated. That means as in the case of submerged surface, this is not working. Irrespective of the position of B and G, this is still sinking. So the relative position of B and G in this case may not give me a stable condition. In this case, B is below G, it is stable. In this case also B is below G or B prime is below G, but still it is unstable. So that means except from B and G, if I have to design something for a floating body, I have to depend on some other term or some other condition. That particular point we call it meta center. So this is your meta center. Here M is your meta center. So you can see when the meta center is above the centroid, this is stable equilibrium. But when the meta center is below G, it is unstable equilibrium. What is the meta center? Sir, meta center is the point of joining between the line of action of the buoyancy force and the line of action of the centroid or previous buoyancy force. Meta center, line of action of the buoyancy force and line of action of the centroid or previous buoyancy force. So from here we came to know that if I have to make my ship stable, If I have to make my, let us say this is the G, centroid already we decided. This is the neutral condition. Okay, this is my G, and this was B before. Now the B has shifted somewhere here, B prime. So your force of buoyancy will act here, FB. So what happens? What happens when you meet the force of buoyancy? Okay, and the center of gravity, it will meet at a point which is known as metacenter. This metacenter is way above the centroid of gravity, center of gravity or centroid. That means this case of in a stable condition. So here my ship is stable. If the force of buoyancy will be somewhere here, then the metacenter will become below G, and your centroid will be above metacenter, and unstable ship is going to sink. So that means there is a particular angle of heel. What is angle of heel? So this angle what you are talking now, sir, this angle theta is my angle of heel. This angle theta is nothing but your angle of heel. That is the angular displacement you are given. 2 degree, 4 degree, 8 degree, 6 degree, 10 degree. Okay, so after certain angle of heel, the ship will sink. So that means I cannot be going for high angle of heel. I cannot go for high angle of heel. I have to minimize design in such a way that I have to minimize this condition, and I have to attain a stable equilibrium through metacenter. What is M? M is your metacenter. M is what? Sir, M is metacenter. Okay, we will discuss about metacenter. Just you note it down, then we will discuss about metacenter. Very, very good. So let's write the theory about this. Okay, what is your metacenter? Sir, metacenter is the point about which a floating body oscillates. It's the point about which your floating body oscillates. Okay, so your BM will be your metacentric radius. Okay, now it's obtained by joining the line of intersection of the buoyancy force and the centroid. Okay, intersecting the normal axis, this, and the line of action of your buoyancy force. Very good. When a body is given small angular displacement, giving a small angular displacement to a body is known as heeling, and the angle is known as angle of heel. This is the angle of heel, theta. This is your angle of heel. 2 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree, 35 degree, 40 degree, like that. Okay, but normally it's small. It's applied, it's supposed to be oscillate about its metacenter only. So theta is your angle of heel, B is your center of buoyancy, G is your centroid, and M is your metacenter. So when a floating body is rotationally stable, when M is above G. When M is above G, then your rotational body is floating body is stable, rotationally stable. When it is neutral, when M is at G. When M is at G, okay, then this is neutral. When it is unstable, when M is below G. When your metacenter is below center of gravity, it is unstable. Very, very important. In your AE, AEE, PSU, other questions, they ask this a lot. Okay, your metacenter is above G, below G, equal to G. When is the stable condition? When is unstable condition? Okay. So today we studied your stability for submerged body as well as stability for floating body, for their vertical stability as well as rotational stability. Okay, I think this is enough for today's class. If you have in one attempt only you have watched it till now, clap yourself, you have done a very good job. Okay, next class we are going to study about metacentric height and some derivation and some other, I'll see the derivation part and some important aspects of metacentric height, metacentric radius. Okay, when these topics we are gonna study. Okay, all the very best. Have a great day ahead and thank you for watching.